My kids grew up here. I think Jennifer was 6 when we moved into this house, and my son was 11. And this has just always been where they grew up. All their memories are here. This is a gathering place for holidays, special cookouts, and I wanted it to be that for my grandkids as well. So when I found out it was destroyed, it was really hard.
It is the deadliest South Carolina tornado outbreak since March of 1994. Many residents say they have never experienced this type of devastation. Some say they saw their homes destroyed in a matter of just seconds.
I got up about 4 o'clock, was watching TV and drinking coffee, and about 7:15 it was like the wind really picked up, so my screen door kept slamming and all that, so I fixed that, went out and latched it, went to the front door, was going to pull my storm door too tight, and that's when the tornado hit. The pressure hit, and it slammed the wooden door with my arm in it, and it stayed like that. I don't know how long, it's like 2 or 3 seconds probably, but for me it was like 5 minutes because I couldn't get my arm out. Then the pressure was gone, the door opened up, and I got my arm out, and I saw what had happened, and my grandson was in his room sleeping, so he came in and helped me with the towel, and he called his mom. So without that, I don't know where I would be, because I think I went into shock.
So I ran out the house and got to the front of the neighborhood and got about a quarter of a mile down Dennis Boulevard, and the trees were down. Couldn't get through, and I saw some other cars going around, so I'm just gonna follow these people. I could see the tree all in these windows and just heard rain coming in.
Once I got in there, they unbandaged my arm from the towel and put a clean bandage on it and said that we were going to have to transport you to the hospital. You're going to have surgery on your hand. And I didn't want to go. Never been to the hospital except for birthing babies. And to have to go alone was even tougher. So they said, that I had to go to Trident, and I had my surgery. And after the surgery, I was tickled to wake up and have a hand, because I really didn't think I would have one. That was pretty much it. It was a long ride to the hospital.
Just didn't know what to do. Rain everywhere, debris everywhere. It took a few hours for the rain to stop and everybody to come out and try to just start somewhere. Start with a limb, start with a piece of aluminum, anything. It's like everything slowed down just on what now? What next?
I met Jennifer in 2011. We instantly became friends. She is my go-to for all of the exciting things that happen in life. If I need a shoulder to cry on, she's definitely my go-to for all of those things in life. So Jennifer had posted the night the storm hit on Facebook that her mother was personally affected and that their house had been hit by the tornado. When I woke up the next morning, I had a text from her reaching out. She didn't know where to start. She didn't know who to call. She didn't know how to help her mother, who was in the hospital recovering from surgery at the time. So she was just reaching for anybody who could help her out and knew that, being her friend, I was somebody she could ask. So when I woke up in the morning, I reached out to Jeff. It was probably 6 o'clock in the morning. I forwarded him the text I got from Jennifer. So he said, "Hey man, call me in 5 minutes." So I picked up the phone and called Jeff and explained to him exactly what the text said, that they were in need, they didn't know where to start. And he said, "Why don't we just do it for them and help her? Call the insurance company, see what they need. What does her mom need while she's recovering in the hospital? Call me back in 1 hour and let's do this."
The way that this process works is that every single time that we earn a real estate commission or generate revenue through one of our real estate companies, we take a portion of that commission and we put it into the Jeff Cook Cares Foundation. So we said, you know what, let's find a way to mobilize a crew to go over and see what we can do to help the street. So we started taking trees that had fallen over, cutting them up, dragging them to the road, tarping houses, making sure that people had food and water that they needed, because you can't get out, or trees had fallen on top of cars and they weren't able to drive their vehicles.
When I got up the next morning to take a shower, I heard my phone ring. Got out, and it was a text message from Jessica saying, "Call me now. I have big news." Okay, so I called her. She said, "So I just got off the phone with Jeff and sort of told him what happened, and we were looking for a family to help, and you're it." Said, "We'll have a contractor there this morning to talk to you, and I'll let you know more after our 9 a.m. meeting with Jeff, sort of how things are going to work." So, okay, and sort of hung up, just shocked. She called me back at about 10, said, "We're going to have volunteers over there to help you clean up. Anything you need, I'll be there to help, whatever you need." And I was just amazed. I wish the world was kinder, and at that moment I saw how kind people could be.
As they say, as Dorothy says, there's no place like home. You know, I just happen to have a whole brand new one.
Jennifer and Pam, who we helped clean their house up, we are on the way to their house right now to see the finished product of the house, to see what it was like. Complete turnaround, complete flip inside of 6 weeks. But here's one surprise that they don't know. We're going to actually gift them an additional $5,000 for them and for their family to continue putting the pieces back together. So they don't know that secret yet, but we're going to be able to be here in just a moment, and you guys will be able to see what that looks like in real time for her to receive a $5,000 check.
Here for the day.
Hey!
Hi, how are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. And I'm not all covered in sweat and trees now. This
Hello.
is my mom.
Hi, how are you?
Doing good, Pam. How are you?
You must be my hero.
I'm Jeff. It's so good to see you and meet you.
Out of the way.
How are
Nice to
you?
meet you. Thank you so much for all your help. You're an amazing person.
Well, thank you. But it looks like you got some new tile, new carpet, and everything.
Yes.
Do you mind showing me around? Show me.
Not
the
at
back.
all.
Well, I want to tell you one more piece of good news. That number that was submitted to State Farm, after they deducted $5,000, Shan's agreed to take that lower amount.
Awesome.
And so him and I are basically sharing that $5,000 together, and so we're going to present you with that $5,000 check. I don't have it with me today. I don't have it with me today, but it's going to be yours. State Farm, yeah, and Shannon, and so half of
I'm
that's...
sorry. I've just got to give you a great big hug. Thank you.
Of course. Of course.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so that's going to come back to you. It'll be about a week's time, but it'll come back to you. And half of that's from me and half of that's from Shannon.
Well, I will.
People have asked, my brothers asked me, "Why don't you get a condo?" Even my dad mentioned getting a condo. "Why don't we move somewhere else? We don't have lawn care." She said, "No, I want somewhere that my kids have somewhere to come to, that my grandkids can have somewhere to come to. I need the space." So it has been her mission in life to make sure this house is here for me or my brother, no matter what, and the grandchildren, all of them.
You never know when you're going to come home again.
Never do.
So.
It's not about, every transaction that we do. It's about making a difference, being personally involved in people's lives. There's stories behind every person that we work with, and actually helping people with their needs. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm making a difference. Having somebody I know personally given such a blessing makes me feel proud. It makes me feel like we're making a difference in the bigger picture of things.
The disaster's not going to define us. It's the help that comes after. And to see that, it's so much gratitude to where thank you isn't enough. It's just, I want to wrap everyone in a huge hug to let them know, thank you for not letting me be alone during that, because the one person who always guided me and told me what to do wasn't able to. But watching volunteers, it's just amazed me to watch people come up, put on gloves. What do I need to do? They didn't even have to ask that. They just went and started picking up, which gave me the courage to come in here and start picking up. And it was just amazing to see all the volunteers. It really was. It was the most beautiful thing. And we still wear the Jeff Cook shirts just to remind us, hey, look, someone cares.
We really want to thank Jeff Cook and all the volunteers everywhere that came and helped with the debris and cleaning up the yards, and that's what's afforded us to be in my home in the next 2 days.
Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart and everything. It has made this trial in life so much easier. Thank you so much, and I love all of y'all.
And it's such a good impression to see people just reaching out for others for no reason. You don't see that often. It takes a special person to just be a giver.